I see a lonely cow up there on the hillside. If you just go out from the corner of the top arch here of Doctrinal, you can see the white cow up there. Oh no, I see another one in a very different spot. So you see that pole here, and then we keep going up. And just to the left of that bigger green bush in the center of the screen, it looks like a cow, right? It is a cow. So today we see the church developing structurally in the first reading. We see the great compassion for a woman whose only son had died. And the sadness of that, I got a prayer request the other day, 2 days ago or yesterday, for a family the mother had lost her life to cancer, and their little children. Those are very sad times for a family, for a neighborhood. Times for prayer, times for help, for assistance, for company, to share the grief. And so we have Jesus and his disciples coming on such a burial. And yesterday his own mother would be mourning him in the set of readings we had. I wonder how Jesus encountered those cases, knowing his own mission and destiny. I was always struck at funerals by the prayer, at funerals for priests by the prayer. Many priests would be gathered usually for the funeral of a priest, and the prayer for the next priest who would die. I haven't done too many funerals actually, because that's not the pastoral work I have had entrusted to me. But maybe that's also prayed in every funeral, because when we encounter somebody who has, know somebody who has passed away, it always raises the question about the days that each of us still have granted to us to fulfill our mission in this world. Very sobering. Dust you are, and unto dust you shall return. We have that great sense of permanence in our being. The other people die, I don't die. And that's also surely part of the rebellion of our nature against death, for which we were not created. We were created for life forever, eternal life. The value, the assistance that a family member provides, and especially in that case, the son was surely the breadwinner. It's important for us to accompany people who are bereaved. When we think of somebody today who needs a phone call or a visit or a little present, some of the hardest times for those who are bereaved are a month or two afterwards, or maybe even longer afterwards, they're still processing the grief in the immediate days of the shock of the passing and the loss, the helplessness in front of the mystery of death. And all the people rushing to visit and to help, to be there. There are lots of different emotions, plus also the readiness, the availability to people. There's a lot going on inside the person and the encounters with the different people coming. But then after a few days, everybody's gone back to normal, and the bereaved person is alone and now feeling the loss more deeply. And that's when a little company can be a very great blessing. A little help, a little company. To do an errand. If the person doesn't drive, to be of assistance. Small things can go a long way to relieve the heavy burden of bereavement. Also, to accompany somebody to the grave. Maybe they're reluctant to go there, or maybe they're spending too much time there. Both extremes can happen. And then a healthy visit to go with somebody who's relatively close to the family, a friend, so that the bereaved person can also share stories and further process, express things that have been emerging in their heart and soul and memory. Those are beautiful acts of compassion. Of course, in this case, this widow was very blessed that the one who showed up was the author of life, through whom everything was made, without whom nothing exists. And he restored the son to his mother. And that obviously then is it's a sunrise, a literal sunrise, where the sun rises in the midst of the darkness of death and is given back to his mother. And the perspective this opens up for all of us. The seeming fatality of death is actually not the last word. Not at all. And the gradual strengthening revelation of resurrection that happens precisely through these miracles, a faith that was emerging in the Old Testament scriptures. The concept was emerging, and the faith was expressed by the Maccabees. And really, this is the cornerstone of all of our faith, of the resurrection. Death does not have the last word, nor violence, nor hostility, nor hatred. And we're all part of that, as filled with hope for our own resurrection, filled with hope for the resurrection of others, and therefore strengthened to be actively involved in the good of others now. From all kinds of things, little physical helps to education, to formation, to inspiration, to encouragement, to assistance of all kinds. And the opposite is death. death is so universal already, how do we have to accelerate it? How should we, how dare we take the life of another person? How could we pile more death upon death and hatred? There's a very hidden word in the, not hidden, but it's just there, but maybe we'd miss it. And it's both in the psalm and in the first reading. And it's the word slanderer. And check it out. There are actually a number of words, technical words, that are associated with the ill use of our tongue regarding others. One is backbiting, another one is calumny, another one is detraction, and there's slander. It would be good just to check out those 4 words. Backbiting, calumny, detraction, slander. Because these kill the social person, the social persona of a person. Because once we hear bad things about another person, we are on our guard. There are obviously problems, there are obviously needs for protection, but there's also the right of a person to their good name. And when their good name is damaged, nobody will do business with them. They won't be employed. They'll be rejected, they'll be shunned. People won't be seen with them because of the intensity of the negativity toward them. And St. James' letter says that the person who controls their tongue, and it's particularly in this regard, the person who controls their tongue is a perfect person. So therefore we all have issues in this area to mature, to develop. People, God bless you. See you later, alligators. Have a blessed day. Think of somebody who is bereaved that needs a little company. And think of some case of somebody who's slandered, or people are backbiting, or people are calumniating, or detracting from their person, from their good name. To defend the good name of a person is to give them a new life, to give them life. We can't often give life that easily to people who are physically dying, but we can give them their good name. We can give them life in their name. There's a wonderful expression, the typical expression of condolences in Hebrew is, may their memory be a blessing. That means that they're remembered well, that their name is cherished and honored. May their memory be a blessing. God bless you. See you later, alligators.